Hey, welcome to another episode of the Philosophy Podcast. I am your host as always, Controversy, and to my right, ladies and gentlemen, my co-host, none other than Mr.
Darren Love.
And together we are the Philosophy Podcast. Thank you to you guys, of course, for tuning in to a brand new episode. Thank you for tuning in once again this week, guys. And if you haven't done it already, please do us a favour before you start watching this episode, guys. And please like, comment and subscribe, because it really does help the channel, yeah? Anyway, without further ado, what is on the agenda for this week, mate? What is today's hot
topic?
Voila.
I thought we were talking about sleep today and dreams.
Okay. So this week we're talking all about
dreaming and sleeping, and
dreaming,
nodding
sleeping.
Off, what is sleep?
What is sleep? What are your thoughts then, mate?
Wow. We all need sleep, don't we?
We all it's very important. Yeah.
I quite enjoy sleep,
Yeah.
Some people struggle to get sleep, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I used to struggle a little bit when I was a bit younger, whatever. But I don't anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I think it's because I'm free with time.
You're relaxed, yeah.
I'm free with time. I'm not a millionaire.
Well, you're not on anyone's clock.
No.
Only clock you're on is your own.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you know what I mean, you're on your clock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I've got no bosses.
No obligations,
Yeah. And I go, basically live my life at the moment like a cat. I go to sleep when I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I can go to bed.
Makes me think of that song. Do you remember that song? But you remember Jill Scott used to sing that song, "Living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden."
No, I never heard of it.
Taking my freedom.
Never heard of it in my life.
Yeah, never mind.
No.
But you are free, mate.
Yeah, and I'm, like I said, I've said many times that I used to be married, but I'm not anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I'm free in that way too, where, I haven't got to do something with somebody else, basically,
Yeah.
Or I don't get disturbed anymore when I'm asleep.
Yeah.
That's another thing.
Yeah.
It's, so, I'll be honest with you, it's like paradise.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to be happily married, you know what I mean? And like, when I first sort of started, it was so romantic, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then after 13 years, it just went on fire.
Yeah.
Like a lot of relationships do these days, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just went bang, and that was it, and you're just looking back at, I'm looking back in time at the rubble now.
The rubble.
And all the destruction.
And trying to pick up the pieces afterwards and move on.
I mean, to be honest with you, I sort of like, when I married my wife, you sort of don't know who you're meeting, whatever, first of all. And she used to sleep a lot more than most people did.
So speaking of sleep, she used to sleep a lot, did she? She was asleep.
What's that thing that you get? And she had to take a lot of iron, because of it.
Oh, anemia.
That's what she was, yeah.
Yeah, anemia. She had anemia.
Exactly, yeah, you're right. And anyway, sort of like working, then we had 2 children, and we ended up having a 3-bedroom house. Do you know what I mean? Lovely house we had together.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But she's just so lazy.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And it angered me.
Do you feel, so you felt like there was some resentment, you had some resentment towards her because of that, yeah?
She's just sort of sitting around enjoying herself most of the time. Do you know what I mean? She, I don't really want to talk about it, do you know what I mean? Because, I don't want to put her down, do you know what I mean? But I'm just sort of saying she was just, because I was working hard, and I come home and things weren't, do you know what I mean? She was in bed, and the children were there playing, whatever, and I just thought, hang on,
Yeah.
12 o'clock here, and she's still in bed, and it's just angered me at that time, do you know what I mean? But I'm free of that now, do you know what I mean? It's all over.
Yeah.
And it's past, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You learn from it, And like, so I'm a lot happier today, actually, being not married, do you know what I mean? I've experienced marriage.
Yeah. Yeah.
She was she was a nice woman, you know, and we had a lovely relationship, but it just went on fire at the end, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like a lot of relationships do.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, mate, you made it a lot longer than some couples, mate, you know.
That's right, you know, I mean, she ruined my dreams, you know.
You still got into double digits, you know, your marriage still got into you were still together for double digit numbers, if you see what I mean.
We were together for 13 years.
So it's, you know,
but I was dreaming to stay with my children, so were they, so was my children, you know. They loved me, honestly. You know, they couldn't wait to see me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They were,
naturally.
well, I was very, very close to my children, you know, and I love children, you know what I mean? I love all children, you know, but when I had my two own, you know, it was, you know, beautiful for me, you know. I was with them as much as possible, to be honest with you, do you know what I mean? And it, you know, I mean, in those days I didn't get enough sleeping, you know, because we were talking about sleep, you know, and times were difficult for me. But today, that's all over.
Yeah.
You know, and my children are all grown up. You know, and it's beautiful. You know, life doesn't last forever, does it? I mean, sort of like struggling. You know, sort of as a single dad for a number of years. You know, sort of like feeding my children weekends and all this sort of stuff. And sometimes I was sick. You know, and I know it's really difficult. Do you know what I mean? And I know how life can be tough, you know, but now they're growing up, you know, I just like think how beautiful life is. You know what I mean? It's all gone, you know, and I can sleep when I want now.
Yeah.
I don't get no, you know, children waking me up during the night, you know, like especially with their babies, as you know, they cry a lot. They're waking you up every 5 minutes.
Yeah, definitely.
Well,
yeah.
You know, especially a newborn, you know, sort of they need a lot of attention, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And you don't. I don't think mothers and fathers, and you know, neither getting, you know. Again, depending who you are, you take it in turns, don't you? Whatever.
Yeah, it's about teamwork, innit? Teamwork has to be in play during those times because otherwise it's not easy, mate. It's not easy for either party, you know.
I mean, my first girlfriend who I met, who I had a child with, she didn't breastfeed.
Okay.
So we had to take it in turns, you know, to be. My first son.
Bottle feed, yeah.
Bottle feed, you know, and I remember sort of getting up, sort of middle of the night, warming the water, you know what I mean? Then you get up at 4, you know, we had different shit.
Like a routine.
Yeah, we had turns, and you know, it's your night, you know, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, me and my wife did the same actually.
But my second, you know, I got married, you know, met love, you know, and had 2 children with her and got married to her.
Yeah.
She breastfed them.
Okay.
You know, so it wasn't my turn. You know what I mean? I haven't got breast.
Yeah. You sure?
No. Look, honestly.
Just lots of layers.
There you go, I got my space t-shirt on today. There you go.
No breast inside.
Space t-shirt. No breast. I've got no breast. I used to dream that I wanted breast. You know, it'd be nice waking up, sort of like having breast to play with every morning.
Nah.
Anyway, that's a joke.
Nah.
I'm just dreaming.
Not my cup of tea.
I'm just dreaming.
Dreaming. Speaking
just
of dreaming.
daydreaming, you know.
Speaking of dreaming.
I'm just daydreaming, you know.
Yeah. What were you talking about? You were talking about some really interesting stuff before you said that.
Can't remember.
Yeah. You're dreaming.
Yeah, we were talking about breast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember.
But yeah, like you said, sleep is very important. Sleep is essential. Sleep essentially is healing. That's how I look at sleep. I look at sleep as healing. You know, that's what you sleep for. You know, you sleep to relax. You basically to allow your body and your mind and everything else to relax and to heal. If you see what I mean, to shut down so that you can kind of recharge, you know what I mean, even if it's just for a short period of time. You know, we all get, in this day and age where life is so hard and life is so busy and so many people who work lots of different jobs and people have, you know, married, got kids and full-time jobs and side businesses and all sorts of stuff going on in this day and age, right? That a lot of people don't really sleep a lot, but the sleep that you do get is very essential, you know, to keep you going, you know. It's almost like food in a way. We all know we need to eat some food at the end. You all need to eat every day to put some kind of, even if you eat 1 meal a day, you still have to eat something to put some sustenance into your body, to put some energy into your body. And I look at sleep the same kind of way. Like sleep is like feeding your body like energy, you know what I mean? You're recharging your energy, you know, so that when you rise, you know, hopefully, even if you wake up still a bit tired, hopefully, you know, you've had a few hours rest and, you know, you've had a little bit of rest, you know, to keep you going, you know, to keep the train moving, so to speak, you know. So, yeah.
I mean, like, I was sort of reading something the other day about owls.
Owls,
and, And
yeah.
nightjars, apparently.
And who?
Nightjars.
Okay.
Nightjars are a little bit like eagles.
Okay.
But the miniature ones.
Okay.
And they work at night time.
Okay. Yeah.
They're the only birds, and bats, as you know, they come out. They hide away from the sun. You know what I mean? These birds, because their eyes are so sensitive.
Okay.
You know, but when they mate in the dark, pitch dark.
Okay.
You know, in the pitch dark, I'm talking about, no light at all.
Yeah.
And you know, they do everything during the night. These birds, you know, they've got these eyes that can see during the night.
Oh yeah, what they call it, nocturnal.
Well, you know, and then as soon as the sun's, they've got to hide from it. Do you know what I mean? You know,
Yeah, vampires.
So it's just interesting that, you know,
Lots of vampire owls.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, nightjars, they're really quick.
Okay.
You know, they're beautiful
Yeah.
birds. You know, but not many people see them because they're quite rare. And the other thing is they work at
At
night.
night, yeah,
You know,
night.
So, you know, who's going to see those, or who's going to take photographs? You know what I mean? So, I mean, if you do see a photograph of a nightjar, which I have, they're very rare. You know, because, you know, I mean, if I took a photograph, it'd probably worth $500,000. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it'd probably be worth some money. Yeah,
Well,
I was gonna say National Geographic or one of those people might pay you for it. You know,
Well,
to
that's it, you know, these
publish it in one of their, you know.
Well, these people that do capture birds like that, they wait there all night. Do you know what
Oh
I mean?
yeah, sometimes longer than that, mate. You've got these people that go off into the Amazon forest and all these kind of things, and literally will go through the forest and all these kind of things, and like you said, sometimes stay there for days, like camped out for days with a tent and got their food and water in a tent and a camera.
Yeah, and then they might stay there all night and then not get anything. You know, or they stay there a week and then
not get anything. Yeah.
Nothing, you know.
Yeah.
You know, they waste their journey.
I was going to say, there was this guy that spent, I can't remember, there was a, I saw it not long ago actually, it was like a National Geographic fact or something. There was this one guy that spent, it took him 6,000 something days to capture a photo of this very, very rare bird, if you see what I mean. This guy was hunting this bird for years, for at least 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
They said 6,000 something odd days he went out trying to find this bird out over the course of 4 or 5 years. And after all that time, he eventually came across this rare bird and got this photo, if you see what I mean. And to me, that is like ultimate like dedication. That is persistence and dedication on another level. Imagine going out every day, mate, almost every day for 4 or 5 years, for hours on end, hoping to get a picture of this one bird. And not seeing it for all these years and still going out every single day. And then eventually that one day, finally that one day, and he was there and he got that photo.
Yeah,
you know?
good.
So, it's amazing, isn't it? You know? But yeah, going back to dreaming, sleep and dreaming, I think dreams are it's a very, very funny thing because obviously when it comes to dreams, right? But I'm talking about dreaming anyway, when you're sleeping. It's your subconscious mind projecting onto your conscious mind all that information that it has, you know, all the information the conscious mind has picked up along the, picking up along the day, whatever the case may be, is then projecting that back onto your conscious mind when you sleep. But at the same time, I think, was it you I think one day we were having a conversation and I think you said something along the lines to me of we are the creators of our dreams, if you see what I mean. We're the ones that kind of create our dreams. We're the main star.
Of course we are.
In our
we're the drive. You're on the driver's seat, aren't you?
Yes, in our dreams.
Right, and it's up to you to wake up. I mean,
yes.
You can actually wake up, or honestly, I can wake up and really dream of going to the moon and looking at planet Earth from a distance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And it's quite simple to do. Now, I can imagine there's no oxygen. Do you know what I mean? And there's no trees there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's cold on the moon. So you can put all these things. It's quite easy to imagine that you're on the moon.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yeah. Well, as long as you've got a good imagination, and you know.
Well, personally, I feel that I've been a bit of a daydreamer all my life. Do you know what I mean? And my imagination's been growing and growing every year. It does. It grows and grows. And I know that now I'm getting older.
Yeah.
I can feel my imagination how beautiful it actually is. Do you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, your imagination is memories. You know, like when you see a new owl,
Yeah, collective memory.
when
Yeah.
you see a new tree or a new flower, yeah, it goes in your memory.
Mm.
You hear it, you smell a banana, you smell an orange, goes into your memory, yeah?
Yeah.
You're learning.
Yeah.
You know, you might have to smell an orange 3 times to understand that smells. You know, you see it's an orange, you smell it, and then you see that orange again, you recognise it, what an orange looks like, you smell it, and you know, you start learning, you know, and these memories grow, and grow.
Oh yeah, every day.
Because how many times in a year do you see an orange, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, all through your life, do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And they just grow, and you become more familiar with things as you get older and understand things. I
Yeah.
think.
Observation.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're 10, you don't know so much then. Do you know what I mean? When you're 20, you know a little bit more. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, it's not what you know, really. You know, like names of everything. You know, like I could know every tree, but it's not really that. You know, it's not that important, really, to know what different names are, really.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah.
like birds. I think they know that things are different. Like that's an oak tree, but
Yeah.
they don't name things like we do. You know,
No.
but I mean, humans they love naming everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Mm.
we got a name for you name it.
Yeah.
There's a name for it.
Yeah. You name it, there's a name for it. I like
Yeah.
that. You name
Yeah.
it, there's a name for it.
Yeah,
I like that.
they don't even think of names of names. You know, and it's
Yeah.
like some people have got like several surnames. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just crazy. Why are we living in a world, world of names, you know, and I don't know, you know, it's just gone.
I think it's a man's understanding, isn't it? Part of it. It's man's are trying to understand everything, you know?
Yeah.
Trying to label things.
And
You
I
know?
think like it's simple, but I think man makes it complicated.
Oh, we do.
You know, and you've got to think like for instance like mathematics. It's not always been around. Do you know what I mean? And man invented numbers at one point, maybe
Yeah.
a couple of thousand years ago, yeah.
Mm.
And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
You know, and it was a counting method, you know what I mean? And then they taught it to the children, and we don't know nothing about it, do you know what I mean?
Mm.
We kind of like, mathematics evolved in a kind of way, you know? I've lost my thought, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Again, you know?
Yeah.
You know, but...
It's okay.
You know, I love daydreaming, you know. It's one of my favourite things, actually, you know. It's where I learn, actually. You know, you can actually experience things with your imagination before you actually do them,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
You can actually sort of, like for instance, if you go for an interview, you can actually imagine what, you know, what you can be like. Or what
Oh
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
say,
Kind
you
of
know.
imagine.
You can get yourself ready.
Yeah, exactly. Put
And you
put
can-
yourself in that
Do you know what
scenario.
I mean? You know,
Yeah.
I'm just sort of
Yeah.
showing that as a tiny little example, you know.
Yeah.
And, you know, what are dreams? What are they? Do you know what I mean? There's different types of dreams, aren't there? There's
Yeah.
dreams that you dream of sometimes when you're asleep.
Mm.
And to be honest with you, I don't really dream much anymore. You know, I just go fast asleep and wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, normally I do much of my dreaming when I'm laying in the bath or whatever, you know,
Yeah.
or laying on bed.
Yeah.
I love staying awake.
Mm.
You know, and people say, I can't go to sleep. Well, stay awake then.
Yeah.
You know, if you can't sleep, stay awake.
Yeah.
You know, you'll fall asleep when you're tired, you know. You know, don't worry about it, you know. No, but, I mean, this society that we live in today where you've got to go to work,
Yeah.
you know, get 9 to 5, you know, we're living in a world of alarm clocks today, you know, and clocks and all this sort of stuff, you know, and people got to set their clocks up at 4 o'clock in the morning or 5 or 6, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes they go to bed a bit late.
Yeah.
Because they've got toothache, whatever, you know.
For whatever reason, can't sleep
You
or
know,
whatever.
or,
Yeah.
you know, and then they wake up late and they're tired the next day, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They can't handle it.
Can't function.
Or they're bitter, right? They can't function
You
normally.
get
as
grumpy.
a-
I get a lot of people that get grumpy. If
You
see what
can't
I mean.
function as a normal human being, honestly. You know, you become unnatural in
Yeah.
a funny way, you know, because you've not had a natural sleep, you know, and you're not happy.
Yeah.
You're just not happy.
If you get too sleep deprived, it can have some real serious health implications. You know.
Yeah, well, you know, like if you in a job, you know, like not all jobs, but most jobs, all right, you go, you know, you can't just go to sleep when you want.
No.
You know, you've got to stand up and be strong
Yeah.
at work, you know, at most jobs anyway, you know. Some some jobs you can have sleeping jobs.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if you're lucky enough.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, generally you just can't go to sleep, even if you really want to. You know what I mean? And you'll have to go up to the boss and say, look, I didn't sleep last night, and I'm tired. You know, can I go home? And they said, no, you cannot. You know, you've got to stay awake. Sorry, and work hard.
Yeah.
You know, because this has got to be done.
Mm.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
You know, and I find in this whole society, this business kind of world, very unnatural, and it's making people mentally ill in a funny way. You know, like waking up at alarm clock, every day. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The birds don't do all this, and all the animals.
I know.
You know, but
yeah.
you know, they're the animals. They sleep when they want. You know, and you know.
But most people would love to be able to not have to wake up to that alarm clock in the morning.
Well, I'm one of them. Do you know what I mean?
But there's not many people out there that can say that they don't have to. You know, a lot of people have to in order to survive. As we all know, people have to, have to make ends meet, as they say. So, you know, people do what they have to do. You know,
that's right. You know,
it's horrible getting up at those early. I remember I used to have jobs too. I remember over in the Caribbean, sometimes I'd be starting work at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I had to be up at like 4:30 because I used to like to take a shower and shit before I go to work, before and after work. So I'd get up at 4:30, take a shower, get ready, and I know I have to get in the bus. The bus was at 5:30, so I had to leave home at like 5:15 to make sure I was at the bus stop for 5:30. If you see what I mean.
It's raining.
And it's raining, it's pitch black. It's still 5:30 in the morning, and then 6 o'clock you're getting to work. You know what I mean? And you've already woken up. You just woken at 4:30, and now you're at work at 6, and then you're working till like 3, 4. It's yeah.
Yes.
I don't miss that, mate. I don't miss having those really well. I still start quite early in the morning now anyway, but it's a lot nicer than 6 o'clock in the morning. If you see what I mean, you know.
But I used to have those days. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I've not always been free like only for 7 years or so now. You know, and I used to sort of get up to the alarm clock and all this, and all this kind of stuff. You know, I'm thinking I'm glad all that's over now. Do you know what I mean? It's I'm free of it. You know, and I in a kind of way I wish that everybody was in a funny way. You know, I think a lot of people would be a lot happier. Like I say, people get grumpy if they're not slept.
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. I'm lucky that I'm one of those people that I don't really get a lot of sleep personally. I think I said it before, you know, and I have to catch up here and there when I can, you know, try to anyway.
You've got children, haven't you? Young children.
Well, not that, but I work full time. I've got a wife, I've got 2 kids, and I've got other things that we do. We've got our podcasts, and as a lot of people know, I do music as well. So trying to do all those things combined, plus trying to see family, my family, my wife's family, or friends, or whatever else is. As we all know, life is very hectic in this day and age.
Just got to keep going, haven't you?
And you try to balance everything, so that you can try and evenly distribute your time towards everything, if you see what I mean. So you can still make sure your wife and kids are straight, and you're still doing your job properly, so that they're happy. Everything's good. You're getting your income, and then you trying to focus your time on your own goals and dreams and side hustles and whatever as well. So it's got to balance everything. It's not always easy, and sometimes you can feel overwhelmed, especially when you're like I said, like me, in a way, when you're working full time, you've got kids, got a wife, plus you've got side hustles, plus other things going on in your life. Sometimes it can be, but you manage,
Well, you've got to, haven't you?
Yeah.
You've got no choice sometimes, you know what I mean? It's
Plus,
you just got to get out of bed and stand up.
That's
You haven't got time to
complain about it.
You ain't
You've
got
got time to
time.
complain about it. You just, you've got to keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not easy. Sometimes it's not easy, but life is not always supposed to be easy,
I say I'm sort of glad those days are over when, because I've got 3 children and they're all babies once, do you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think we all go through it,
Yeah.
And it's, it's not all hard work, but,
No. No.
Sometimes it's lovely when they're asleep,
Yeah.
But, now I'm free of all that, do you know what I mean?
They're all grown up, they've got their own lives, and
yeah. It's just nice being free in life of alarm clocks, and like I said, I think it really does something to society.
Yeah.
All this pressure, it's pressure.
Stress.
Yeah, and it's like, why have we got, you know, I think it's getting a little bit easier because there's flexi time now, isn't there, and all this sort of stuff, you know what I mean, that's quite good.
Yeah.
You know, so, you know, maybe things are getting better, I don't know, you know, but, you know, like sleep is very important, you know,
Yeah.
and I realise this now,
Yeah.
and so is having your own space, you know, where I'm, you know, like, for instance, when I was in a relationship in my past, I never really sort of like had an hour to myself, do you know what I mean? You know, which I think everybody should make important, that they have their own time.
Everyone needs some like me time. They call it me time.
You know, I get me time every day.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like,
but like you said, like if you're in my, I'm just using me for an example because I have a very busy lifestyle, as you know. So
we've got different lives, you know. You've got more on your plate.
When I get me time, like I make the most of it. You know, whether I use it to be productive or whether or not I use it just to have some downtime because I just need a break or to relax or just, you know, whatever, you know, to kind of recharge, rebalance, you know.
Well, every time I've seen you, 10 years now, because we've been in a relationship for 10 years now, haven't we?
Don't say that, mate.
Well, we both love each other.
Yeah?
We both love each other, but
well,
not like that.
Our friends, yes, yeah.
Not like
I don't want people to get the wrong idea,
no,
that's all. Cause,
I
don't want people to
never share the same bed.
I don't want people to misconstrue.
No, I mean, if I touched Josh in the, you know, like somewhere, you know, it'd hit me. Straight away, I know you'd give me a black eye, you know, that's that.
Yeah.
And if he touched me...
probably vice versa. I don't want that it wouldn't happen, but vice versa.
Yeah, you know, like if he touched me, yeah, you know, do you know what I mean? But I'm talking about we've been... You know, I do actually love you, Josh. You know what I mean, you know, and there's nothing.
And you know the love is mutual, mate. You know, you're like a brother. You're like my brother. That you know, a brother from another mother.
It's like I love the flowers, you know, and it's the same thing. Like I say, I love the flowers and I love you. Do you know what I mean, as a friend, but not that like love of women in bed and all that. You know what I mean, that's different, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's sex. That's sex.
Yeah.
You know, that's sex.
But you got to have brotherly love, most definitely. You know.
Yeah. Well, we get on like house apparently, don't we? We've not had one argument in 10 years, have we?
10 years, yeah.
Not one.
Yeah, not one.
That's what I mean, like, I think...
There's times that we've agreed to disagree.
Yeah.
And that was very, very, very seldomly. Very, very hardly ever. You know what I mean? But of course, sometimes you agree to disagree. Everyone's different. We're all individuals. Even though you might be close friends, you might think very similarly, you might be on the same kind of frequency, same kind of vibe, same kind of energy, got the same kind of ideas, same kind of opinions. But you're never ever going to agree with 100% of what anyone thinks or anyone says, if you see what I mean. You know, it don't work like that.
Broken up once,
you know, exactly. And even when we agree to disagree, it's always in a constructive, productive, polite, respectful, kind of manner.
Yeah, where like
we're not.
I'll tell you what, some of my, you know, I won't mention it, you know, whatever, but some of my old friends, they get upset really quickly, whatever.
And there's no need for that.
Then they hate you.
Yeah, it's just like, mate, you're getting upset for me for having an opinion, but you've got an opinion, and I'm not getting upset. I'm not getting upset with you for having an opinion, but you want to get upset with me for having an opinion. It don't make sense. Like, everyone is entitled to whether or not you agree with it, or whatever the case may be, that person is still entitled to their opinion. Whether or not you like it, you would disagree with it, agree with it, or you know, can't believe it. It's still their opinion.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, so we've all got the right to think for ourselves, you know, to have our own train of thought, to have our own...
I think it's, you know, sometimes it's all to do with a little bit of drink, you know, because I used to have like 3 friends here, or sometimes 4, and sometimes like 3 friends is trouble a little bit, do you know what I mean? Because there's always one getting jealous or something, or whatever, I don't know what it is. But, you know, there's more people talking, for one, you know, and then one time, you know, like, I think my friends were talking about God, and he said, you know, they started arguing, you know what I mean, and it ended up into a big fight. I thought, hang on.
Yeah.
You know, do you know what I mean?
It's like you're trying to tell...
That's either of you believe God, because you're fighting.
Well, that's what I mean, and it's just like, I'm the type of person, right, mate, that I believe that once you get to a certain age, right, as a man especially, like, you know, it's like, you got to learn how to have conversations with your brothers without, you know, we're not teenagers anymore where you're young and impulsive, and if someone says something to you that you might not like, or, you know what I mean, you might have a heated disagreement and it leads to